Hi, I'm Juliana. Most people call me Leah, except my stepmom, Diane. She always insisted on using my full name, like it was some kind of burden to say all 4 syllables. I woke up in the hospital 3 weeks ago with a titanium rod in my leg and enough stitches to make Frankenstein's monster look like a fashion model. My dad was asleep in the chair beside me, his normally perfect hair a mess, his designer shirt wrinkled beyond recognition. Dad? My voice came out as a croak. His head snapped up. Leah! Thank God! He lunged forward, hugging me awkwardly around the tubes and wires. What happened? I asked, wincing as pain shot through my ribs. There was an accident, he said, his voice breaking. The SUV rolled down the embankment on Mountain Pass Road. Fragments started coming back to me. The screeching tires, the shattering glass, the world spinning. And something else. Something important. Where's Tyler? And Diane? I asked, referring to my stepbrother and stepmom. Dad's face clouded. Tyler's okay. Just some bruises and a concussion. Diane's fine too. They got out first, I said slowly, as the memory crystallized. I was pinned. And Diane, The words caught in my throat. A nurse interrupted, checking my vitals with practiced efficiency. How are you feeling, sweetie? She asked, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes. Like I've been in a car accident, I replied dryly. Your sense of humor survived intact, I see. She smiled, making notes on her tablet. Dr. Ramirez will be in soon. After she left, I turned back to Dad. Diane pulled Tyler out and left me there, didn't she? Dad's silence was all the confirmation I needed. I remember now, I continued, my voice hardening. I called for help. She looked right at me and said I wasn't worth saving, that she needed to get her real child to safety. Leah, you've been through a trauma, Dad said cautiously. Sometimes our memories get confused. I wasn't confused, Dad. I was conscious the whole time until the firefighters arrived. She made a choice. The door opened, and my best friend Zoe rushed in, her curly hair bouncing wildly, arms full of flowers and a stuffed bear. Oh my God, Leah, she exclaimed, dropping everything to hug me. I've been losing my mind waiting for you to wake up. Hey, Zoe, I managed, returning her hug despite the pain. Dad stood up. I'll give you 2 a minute. Need to call the doctor anyway. Once he was gone, Zoe's expression changed from relief to fury. Everyone's talking about what happened, she said, pulling her chair closer. Is it true? About Diane? Yeah, I nodded. What are people saying? That she's a monster who left you to die while saving her precious son, Zoe said bluntly. Tyler's been telling a different story, though. What's his version? I asked, feeling sick. That Diane tried to help you both, but you were too badly trapped. That she had to save who she could. I was trapped, but not impossible to help, I said quietly. She didn't even try, Zoe. She looked me in the eye and told me I wasn't worth it. And your dad? Zoe asked hesitantly. Doesn't want to believe it, I said. 15 years together, and he still doesn't see who she really is. What are you going to do? I looked out the window at the mountains in the distance, the same ones where I'd nearly died. First, I'm going to get better, I said, my voice steady. Then I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly what she did. 2 months after the accident, I was back home, but it hardly felt like home anymore. Dad had converted the downstairs office into a bedroom for me since I couldn't manage the stairs yet. Diane avoided me completely, and Tyler only appeared when his mother was around. I was sitting on our back deck, enjoying a rare moment of solitude when my physical therapist, Marcus, arrived for our session. Morning, warrior, he greeted, setting down his equipment bag. How's the leg feeling today? Like it belongs to someone else, I admitted, but better than yesterday. That's what I like to hear. Progress, not perfection. He helped me through my exercises. You know, Marcus said casually as I stretched my leg. My brother's a police officer. He mentioned something interesting about your accident report. I stopped mid-stretch. What do you mean? The initial statement from your stepmom doesn't match the paramedics' report. Inconsistencies in timing, positioning of victims. Can I talk to him? I asked immediately. He's actually outside in my car, Marcus admitted. Thought you might want to? Officer Ramon Diaz was Marcus's older brother, with the same strong jawline but a more serious demeanor. He agreed to speak with me unofficially. The paramedics noted you were conscious when they arrived, Ramon explained, showing me a copy of the report. You told them immediately that your stepmom had pulled your stepbrother out but left you. Their assessment was that you had been in the vehicle, conscious, for at least 40 minutes after the initial extraction of the other victim. That matches what I remember, I confirmed. Mrs. Carter's statement claims she pulled her son out just as emergency services arrived, that both of you were unconscious, and that she couldn't reach you. That's a lie, I said firmly. What about witnesses? The driver who called 911 stated he saw a woman pulling a teenage boy from the vehicle several minutes before he arrived on scene. Ramon's expression was professional, but sympathetic. There's enough discrepancy here to warrant further investigation. Later that afternoon, I received an unexpected visitor, Tyler's girlfriend, Emma. I didn't know if I should come, she said nervously, standing in my doorway. Why are you here? I asked, not unkindly. Because Tyler's been acting weird since the accident, she explained, sitting gingerly on the edge of my bed. He's having nightmares, barely sleeping. He keeps saying things that don't make sense. What kinds of things? I leaned forward. He talks in his sleep about his mom making a choice, about leaving you behind. Emma twisted her friendship bracelet anxiously. I confronted him yesterday, and he completely fell apart. He admitted that he was conscious when his mom pulled him out. He heard what she said to me? My heart pounded. Yes. He said she told him to be quiet, that you weren't her responsibility, that she had to save him first. And then she just left, I finished. He wanted to go back for you, Emma insisted, tears welling up. But she dragged him away. He's been living with that guilt ever since. Is he willing to tell the truth? I asked. I don't know, Emma admitted. He's terrified of his mom. I'm meeting with a lawyer tomorrow, I told her. Will you talk to him? See if he'll come forward? I'll try, she promised. Leah, I'm so sorry this happened to you. That evening, Dad found me reviewing the accident reports. What's all this? He asked, his voice tight. The truth, I said simply, holding his gaze. I have the paramedics' reports, Dad, and witnesses, and maybe soon Tyler's testimony too. Testimony? What are you doing, Leah? What you should have done the moment you found out your wife left your daughter to die, I replied calmly. I'm seeking justice. The family dinner was my idea. Dad was reluctant, but I insisted it was time to clear the air. Diane looked uncomfortable as we all sat around the dining table. Me with my crutches propped nearby, Dad fidgeting with his napkin, Tyler staring at his empty plate, and Diane maintaining her perfect posture. This is nice, Dad said weakly. All of us together again. Let's not pretend, I said. We all know why we're here. Juliana, Diane warned, her voice taking on that familiar condescending tone. If you're going to be dramatic. Dramatic, I repeated. Is that what you call nearly dying because your stepmom abandoned you in a wrecked car? I did what any mother would do, Diane said defensively. I saved my child first. And then you left. I locked eyes with her. You didn't call for help. You didn't come back. You told me I wasn't worth saving. That's absurd, she scoffed, looking to my father. Richard, are you going to let her talk to me this way? Dad looked torn. Diane, there are reports. Reports? Her voice rose. What reports? From the paramedics, I answered. From the witness who saw you dragging Tyler away long before emergency services arrived. From the 911 call that proves you had plenty of time to help me, or at least stay with me. Tyler flinched visibly. Tyler, Diane said sharply. Tell them what really happened. My stepbrother looked up, his face pale. Mom, don't. Tell them how you were unconscious, how I couldn't reach Juliana. Stop it! Tyler shouted, slamming his hand on the table. I wasn't unconscious. I remember everything. The room fell silent. You told me to be quiet, he continued, his voice breaking. You said we had to leave her. You said she wasn't our problem. Tyler, you're confused, Diane insisted, reaching for his hand. He pulled away. I've been covering for you for months, but I can't do it anymore. You left her there, Mom. You chose me and left her to die. Of course I chose you, Diane snapped. What mother wouldn't? A decent human being would have helped us both, I said quietly, or at least stayed until help arrived. You have no idea what it's like, Diane hissed, her composed facade crumbling. 15 years I've spent raising you, and you've never been anything but resentful. Always competing with Tyler for your father's attention, always making sure I knew I wasn't your real mother. So that justified leaving me to die? I asked incredulously. I made a split-second decision. No, I interrupted. The witness statement confirms you were there for several minutes. You made a deliberate choice. What do you want from me, Juliana? She demanded. An apology? Fine, I'm sorry. I don't want your apology, I said, pulling out a folder. I filed a criminal complaint for reckless endangerment and failure to render aid. My lawyer submitted it this morning. Diane's face drained of color. You can't be serious. The district attorney seems to think it's quite serious, I replied. Especially with Tyler's testimony. You would testify against your own mother? Diane turned to Tyler aghast. You left my sister to die, he said quietly. What kind of son would I be if I covered that up? Diane stood suddenly, her chair scraping against the floor. This is ridiculous. I was protecting my son. By committing a crime, I pointed out. Richard, are you going to let this happen? She demanded. Dad finally found his voice. You told my daughter she wasn't worth saving? I didn't mean it like that, Diane backpedaled. It was a traumatic situation. Get out, Dad said quietly. What? Get out of my house, he repeated, standing up. I want you gone tonight. Diane's face contorted with rage. She grabbed her water glass and hurled it against the wall. You ungrateful little bitch, she spat at me. I should have let you die in that car. It would have made all our lives easier. 2 police officers appeared in the doorway, Officer Diaz and his partner. Mrs. Carter, Officer Diaz said formally, we have a warrant for your arrest. 6 months after the accident, I sat in the courthouse beside my lawyer, Jennifer Ross. My legs still ached in cold weather, but I could walk without crutches now. Dad and Tyler sat directly behind me in silent support. Diane entered with her attorney, not sparing us a glance as she took her seat across the aisle. The plea deal had been arranged weeks ago, guilty to reckless endangerment and failure to render aid in exchange for no jail time. All rise, the bailiff called as Judge Winters entered. The proceedings moved quickly. Diane stood stiffly as the judge addressed her. Mrs. Carter, before I accept this plea and impose sentencing, I'd like to hear from the victim. Miss Juliana Carter, would you like to make a statement? I walked carefully to the podium, my prepared notes clutched in my hand. Your Honor, 6 months ago, my stepmother made a choice that revealed exactly how she felt about me. She chose to save her biological son, which any mother would do, but then chose to abandon me in a wrecked vehicle rather than stay or seek immediate help. I glanced at Diane, who stared straight ahead. The physical injuries have mostly healed, but I'll never forget lying there, hearing her tell me I wasn't worth saving. I'll never forget the 43 minutes I spent alone, in pain, uncertain if help would come in time. I took a deep breath. I don't want revenge. I want accountability. I want my stepmother to acknowledge publicly what she did. After the judge sentenced Diane to probation, community service, and a restraining order, Zoe hugged me tightly outside the courthouse. How do you feel? She asked. Relieved, I admitted. Not happy, just like I can finally move forward. Tyler approached hesitantly. I don't blame you, I said before he could speak. You were as much a victim as I was. But I should have done something sooner, he insisted. You came through when it mattered. I assured him. Dad joined us, putting an arm around each of our shoulders. I found us a new place. Fresh start, just the three of us. Later that evening, as we packed, Tyler handed me a family photo. I removed it from the frame and tore it neatly down the middle, separating Diane from the rest of us. We keep our half, I said, placing it in the save box. And move forward. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? Tyler asked. No, I said finally. Some things are unforgivable, but I'm not going to let what she did define my life either. But she made choices that revealed who she truly is, I finished. We don't owe forgiveness to people who aren't even sorry. What would you do if someone you trusted left you behind when you needed them most? Would you seek justice or find a way to forgive?